see here we're testing oscillating multi-tools. These are the must-have thing for any tradesperson these days, and these cordless ones are mostly 18 volt, except for this one which is 12 volt, which was a Milwaukee decision, so that's entirely up to them to put their 12 volt up against the 18 volt. So the Bosch GOP18V, I've actually got the corded version of this, and the corded version is done very well indeed. Good powerful machine, and this is really no different in that respect. Plenty of power in there. It's a little bit heavier than some other machines that I've tried, similar size. Really like the Starlock, and the side lever is a very handy idea. It's not going to flick down on your hands. This is the cool pack battery with more ventilation in it that keeps cooler, so if you're running this for a long time, it is definitely an advantage having that cool pack battery. Pretty good tool. The only thing I would say is the way they've got this designed with the air vents there is if you're holding it there, you're covering up the air vents, which is a little bit of an issue, I guess, if it started to get hot, but hopefully you're not going to be running it for that long. Vibration wise, not bad, not the best, but it feels reasonably comfortable. But with all these machines, limit your use, give yourself a rest from it, because even the best of them are still high vibration tools, so you don't want to be using them for several hours a day. So what do I think about the Metabo? Well, we waited for the Metabo. We delayed the test because we wanted this new model to come out, and they rushed it over to us, and we're grateful for that. It's an interesting design, let's say that. The fact it doesn't stand up is a little bit weird, isn't it? That's because they've cranked that battery back at the end to get it out of the way so that you've got more space down at the front so you can get closer to whatever you're doing. I think that's always going to be the problem with multi-tools, is you're trying to get them into very narrow spaces, and sometimes even that is too much for you. But it does have a nice slimline grip at the end here, which I like. It's got a simple on-off switch, which I think is a good thing. It's got a variation on the Starlock here, in as much as you still have to take that little red pin out the middle, and I just worry that maybe I'll lose that at some point. So it's certainly up in the high end in terms of machines because it's got this Starlock Plus system on it. It's definitely a contender, and it is using the CAS battery platform, so that's a pretty useful thing. Whether the rest of the world is going to go onto that battery platform, we'll see. There's Metabo, good tool, plenty of power. Now DeWalt, they have definitely thought outside the box, and I know their previous corded tools have got a lot of fans. A lot of people really like the design. They've got a 3-speed, almost like a gearbox, but it's not. It's an electronic control, and that will limit the speed. If you want to do something really intricate, you don't want the blade jumping around all over the place, you can put it down on its minimum speed there, and then you can just control it on the trigger here. It's a very, very quick and easy blade change. I like it a lot. And you can change it onto the Starlock system by taking this off the front and putting the adapter on. So it is possible to use Starlock blades on this, and it's also possible to use the OIS system blades, so all those cheap budget price blades are available to you. You know, if you're running an 18 volt DeWalt system, you'd have to come up with some good arguments for not buying this one and for buying the other ones. It does everything you would probably need it to do. So what did I think about the Makita? Quite honestly, it's okay. There's nothing on it that I think is terrible, but then again, there's nothing on it that I think is particularly good. It didn't perform out of its class. It did what you would kind of expect it to do. If you're already running this 18 volt Makita battery system, then it's a natural choice for you, and it won't do you any harm, but it certainly doesn't have the refinement of some of the other tools I've tested. And the blade system is the old style OIS blade, so does the job. You can use cheap blades on it, which I suppose is one of the advantages of it. Fairly reasonable blade change mechanism on it. That's what all the others used to use before some of them moved away to the Starlock. But yeah, certainly it's an okay tool. It's probably value for money, quite honestly. So the Festool, for all you Festool fanboys who just would not consider having any other brand of tool in your van, then what's this like? it's a pretty awesome machine, I've got to say. A lot of people are saying it's actually the FEIN in another clothing, it's got another case on it, and most details in it are identical to the FEIN, including that suspension on the front there, articulated head, which does take a lot of the vibration out. Nice speed control, fairly quiet machine actually. In terms of a compact tool with all the refinement that you get with something like the FEIN, of course it comes with a lot of other things like depth stops and so on. That's what people like about Festool, they've thought about all those little details. I mean, it's a great machine, quite honestly. It's not going to be cheap, is it, because it's Festool. So for Festool fans, it's a no-brainer. It's 12 volt, and you might be thinking that that's a little bit underpowered, maybe you'd be better off with the 18 volt, but actually we were amazed. Everybody who looked at this machine was blown away by it. They just, my goodness, that really packs a punch. And look at it, look at the slimline, no nonsense shape of it. There's nothing fancy going on there, is there? That's just a very, very slim body. And even this battery that's got this little bit extra on it, you don't need to use that. You can put the other battery in it, which gives you a completely slimline handle. How does it stack up against the 18 volt? Because this was Milwaukee's decision to send us this and not send us their 18 volt, because they were so confident that this would do well in the test. And I think that shows that they got a certain amount of confidence in the design of this machine, and I think that that confidence is not misplaced. So what do I feel about the HiKOKI? Well, it's a good slimline machine, it's brushless, it's not bad if you're running that Hitachi 18 volt or the HiKOKI 18 volt system. The one thing that I really find baffling is why they went for this ridiculously complicated blade change on it. Flick the lever up to unlock it, push the ring forward, turn the ring round, remove the pin, put your tool on, put it back, turn that round, lock it in, lock that down. That just seems like a complete faffle, and because I don't use it all the time, it wasn't intuitive. I'm sure you would get used to it, but for me it really is the thing that lets this tool down. Sorry HiKOKI, I love you to bits, but this I don't think is your greatest hour. A lot of people will know this machine and trust it because it was the original multi-tool, if you like. This is using the Starlock Max system, which means it's not backward compatible with the OIS system, so that could be a factor to take into account, because it does mean you're going to be locked into those more expensive blades. But having tested this tool, I can tell you that those blades do work. They are a premium quality blade, if you like, but they do give you that extra bit of performance. Compared to my old FEIN, this is a hell of a lot quieter, but it's also probably the top machine in terms of vibration, because what they've done is they've articulated the head. They've kept the head separate from the body. It cuts a lot of the vibration out. The other thing that I really like about this is nice compact battery, because what you are trying to do with these tools very often is to get them into a tight space, so you don't want anything bulky. So something to look out for if you're like me and you're trying to work in those tight spaces. Well, I'd love to say that I love it, but I don't really. Quite honestly, it's not bad. I just find that the vibration, the noise and everything else on it, it's a great chunky machine. I mean, look at the size of it. It really just lacks that level of refinement, which is a little bit disappointing. I'm not a huge fan of these little switches here. The switch works, you push it in and you lock it off. And they're okay, but I've had a couple on angle grinders, small angle grinders, which once they fill up with dust are not so clever. So let's hope this one's better, but I would have preferred to have seen some other kind of switch on it other than that. Anyway, this is a pre-production model. They may improve some of those things. This is quite noisy, a fair bit of vibration on it, and you would hope that it would be a little bit more refined, but I can't promise that this is going to change much between now and the time when it hits the production line and you start seeing them in your tool store. So not my favourite tool by any means. Now the batteries are an expensive item. They obviously wear out and you've got to replace them. What I'd say, first of all, if you've got one of these battery systems already, I wouldn't think there's anything here that would steer me away from my battery platform. If you're a DIYer and you're just starting out and you're looking at these and you're thinking, oh, they're a little bit expensive, shall I go for a cheaper cordless tool? Now you can get cheaper ones, the Erbauer and things like that, but if you have to replace the batteries on those, you will then find that they're quite expensive. If you look at the total price of the tool and you look at replacing a battery, sometimes it's nearly as much as the price of the tool. If you can get away with plugging in, you could buy a multi-tool which would cost you as little as £25 and it would do the job. It's got power, it's going to last, you haven't got to worry about replacing batteries, that expense. Now it won't be the best multi-tool in the world. One thing you'll find is that they're generally noisy, and the other thing you'll find is that the vibration is quite severe on them. In other words, you don't want to be using them for very long. But if you're a DIYer, you're not using them for long. Just remember that if you don't use it a lot, then you really need to make sure those batteries are charged up before you put it away, and then don't leave it in the cupboard for 6 months without using it. Bring it out, run it a bit, charge the batteries up again, and that way you won't have that disappointment where you've got a lovely new cordless tool, you've used it once or twice, then you've stuck it in the cupboard for 6 months, you pull it out and the batteries have gone past the point of no return, because if they lose enough charge, then it's impossible to get them back into life. So if you're a pro, you're using batteries all the time, absolutely fine, and you will know whether you want a cordless or a corded tool. But the corded tools are obviously as powerful, if not more powerful, and they're going to be cheaper to run and cheaper to buy. That's just a consideration. So let's look at these tools as a group and just try and put some distance between them. First thing I'm going to say is when we look at the top of the range tools, they all use this Starlock system, which is a very, very easy blade change. It's got a 3-dimensional fixing on it. So instead of just pinning through the middle and relying on that mechanism to drive the blade, and we're only talking about the blade going from side to side, by the way, by a tiny amount. On the Starlock system, because it's got that secondary locking in, if you like, the 3-dimensional star, it means that you've got a much better contact between the motor, if you like, the drive, and the blade end. So it will take a bigger blade, it will take a bit more punishment. The motors tend to be a bit more powerful. Now you notice that the Starlocks are running on lower capacity batteries very often. The FEIN and the Festool are running on 3 amp hour batteries, and that means you're going to get less run time, but it doesn't mean you're going to get less power. I have this argument time and time again with people. They think, oh, a lower amp hour battery means you're getting less in the way of power. You're not. They will run at the full power for as long as that battery lasts. So a 3 amp hour battery is a little bit more compact, it's easier to get into small spaces, and you just have to accept the fact that sometimes it's going to run out and you have to put the new battery in. If you've got 2 batteries, it's no problem, you're charging one up, and they're brushless motors, so they will last that bit longer. Money no object, you're going to buy yourself a Starlock because they've just got that bit more refinement, but you are locked into those higher price blades to a certain extent if you buy those. And if you weren't going to use the Starlock blades, why would you buy them anyway? Because they really do come into their own using the Starlock system. In the back row with the OIS system, which is a slightly more old-fashioned system but still good, you can use all these different aftermarket blades with them, so you've got a lot more choice. You can pick up cheaper blades and trash them at will. And I think in all these tools, they're all good, they're all okay, they will do the job. And if you've never owned a multi-tool before, you're going to be impressed by any of them, quite honestly. You're going to think they're okay. It's only as you get a little bit more spoiled, as you use better ones, that you start to think, okay, there's a bit more refinement in those. Let me just say that nobody's paid us for this review. We haven't been given any of the tools. We bought some of them, the others have been loaned to us, so we're clean as far as that goes. But it's decision time. I've got to make up my mind, and I've got to say that all these Starlock tools are good, they all work well. If money were no object, I would probably go for the FEIN. Personal choice for me. Somebody might say they'd rather have the Festool or whatever, but for me, the personal choice would be the FEIN. It was the original. It's got some great features to it. On the back row here with the OIS system, if I've got to go for a tool here, got to make a choice out of one, it's probably going to be that Milwaukee, just because it performed out of its class and it's a 12 volt, quite good value for money. The other one that really took me was the DeWalt. I like the kit, I like the fact you get all those bits in with it. It's great value for money and a great tool. Okay, so that's this Showdown done and dusted, and we're looking towards the next Showdown. So you tell us, follow the link below and tell us what you want to see next. Is it lasers? Is it chop saws? You tell us and we'll do our best to comply.